All right. All right. All right, guys. Welcome into Late Nights with Santana. How's everyone doing? It's on the wrong slide. How's it on the right? No, it's on the right slide. No, look, Corey. State of the Union. It's the right slide. This is Late Nights. It's just you? Hello. How old are you? I'm 39. How old are you? Guys, as we get in, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It'll boost the live, push us out to the FYP. Excuse me. This is Late Nights with Santana. This is a panel discussion for each and every person that wants to join. And we're talking about the state of our union. So if you're interested in joining this conversation, go ahead and get up here. If you are over on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and you want to join this conversation, guess what? You can. You absolutely can. All you have to do is click the link and you will be able to join the conversation. So, excuse me. As we go ahead and get ready to get started, guys, please tap the screen, share the live, get the likes up to 8,000 likes. Also, send your daily heart me and knock out the daily gift goal, please. That'll boost the live, help push us out to the FYP. Share the live maybe once or twice. That's cool. But more than anything, repost the live. That helps a ton. Please. Hello. All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, if you are interested in joining this conversation, get up here. This is Late Nights. Everyone is welcome. You do not have to be a quote unquote op, and you even don't have to be on TikTok anymore. You can be on any platform and you don't have to leave your platform. All you got to do is click the link. Now, you guys know how we do. Let's go ahead and get it started.
Yeah. This ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late Nights with Santana. And Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go. Late Nights truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams in the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures. But the real ones listen before they rebuttal. Late Nights with Santana. Yeah. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, it's a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Yeah. Late Nights with Santana. You already knew.
Not YouTube over there talking about whole wheat eggs.
No highlight reel, just the soul's reflection. No shade throwing, just connection. From streetwise truths to deep reflections. We turn
Hey, King.
talks into blessings. They say they run the game, we build new rules. We here to heal, uplift, and break the old rules. They kept us boxed in, divided by fear. But you find us lined up when the truth appears. Weekly topics,
Hearts wide open.
no judgment.
Just motion.
Real ones are talking, no cussing.
Cause Mama Jones.
Watching, no fronting. Yeah.
Late Nights with Santana.
You already knew. Late Nights with Santana. Late nights, no static. Yeah. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it
Might get hot.
But we ain't here to fight, we here to
Connect the dots.
Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this a purpose zone. Santana hold it steady when it
Might get hot.
But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Weekly topics,
Hearts wide open.
no judgment.
Just motion.
Real ones are talking, no cussing. Cause Mama Jones still watching, no fronting. Yeah.
Late Nights with Santana. You already know. Late Nights with Santana. No, you're the best. Guys, welcome in. This is Late Nights with Santana, and this is a panel discussion. That means that each and every person watching can join the conversation. So if you are interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and request up, get in the box. If you've ever wanted an opportunity to share your opinion, especially now, especially today, especially with what's happening in the world. Yes, I said in the world. That means you do not have to be in the United States of America in order to join this conversation because we're taking a look at the big picture. While it does say the state of our union, we're talking about the entire world. So we're talking about the current global status. We're talking about the dysfunctional home front that we have here in the U.S. We're talking about electoral politics. We're talking about reshaping our country, which is something that's absolutely necessary. So if you are interested in joining the conversation, go ahead and request up. I'm going to start getting people in. And as I start to bring people in, please, please, please make sure that you guys are muting yourself. Make sure you are muting yourself. And again, one thing that I said, if you are interested in joining the conversation and you are over on if you're over on Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, you do not have to leave the actual site. The only thing that you have to do is click that link in the pinned message and you will be brought up. So again, please, please, please go ahead and mute yourself as we get up. And if you would like to join the conversation, go ahead and request up. Also, guys, please, please, please make sure that, what is happening? Why does it keep doing this? Please make sure that in the meantime, in between time, tap the screen, share the live, send your daily heart me. It's only one coin. It will boost the live, push us out to the FYP. There we go. I've been trying to reset the daily gift goal for some, and it keeps going kind of haywire on me. But there we go. It finally let me do it. All right. Again, go ahead and get up here if you are interested in joining the conversation. Every person is welcome. Why is it doing that? That's so weird. I'm going to come back to it. All right. All right. We're going to go through and do a quick introduction. Kind of mute you guys. We're going to do a quick introduction and yep, there we go. We'll do a quick introduction and then we'll go ahead and get into it. So first and foremost, leader of the pack. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Leader of the pack. Can you tell the people overall what is your political ideology and what do you think about the current status of our world?
I'd say I'm liberal, and I think that the state of our world is pretty, screwed right now.
Okay. Perfect. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. Is that two rats? Two rats. How are you?
Good.
Good. Two rats. Do you want me to call you that?
Just call me Jay.
Jay. Okay, Jay. I like that better. Jay, can you tell the people what is your current political ideology and what do you think about the current state of our world?
I am a liberal, and I think that the world is not doing the best right now. In fact, I think looking at science, we might only have like a couple decades left.
Okay. Perfect. Give me 1 second here. Is it Belly Fairy? Belly Fairy?
Just Bell Fairy, but you can just call me Bell. That's fine.
Bell.
Yeah.
Okay, Bell. Bell, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Bell, can you tell me what is your political ideology and what do you think about the current state of our world?
I am Democrat, and the state of our world is definitely not so good right now. But with the whole Make America Great campaign, it looks like with the threat Iran made, they're going to make America great again.
Interesting. All right, perfect. 1 moment here. And last but not least, Asher, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful. Asher, can you tell the people what is your political ideology and what do you think about the current state of our world?
My political ideology is progressive, unfortunately Democrat. And then for state of the world, obviously, it's I feel like America is driving the bus. We're driving the car here, and we have a drunk driver behind the wheel. So I think we're all regretting that.
Okay. All right. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and get started here. So just a quick FYI for the people on the panel. Guys, quick reminder, please remember, use TikTok-friendly language while we're having this conversation. What does that mean? That means using words like pew pew, unalive, C19, mustache man, things like that to protect not only your TikTok, but protects the live. And please also remember that this is a safe and friendly community. What does that mean? That means we don't deal with any of the isms, racism, sexism, classism. We also don't do any of the phobias, homophobia, transphobia, none of that. We don't play that on the panel nor in the comments. Speaking of the comments, chat. Caps are for mods. Please be mindful. Do not use caps, because if you use caps, it will draw my attention away from the panel and to the chat. And we want to make sure that we are able to have this conversation. But chat, you guys have a very important job. Make sure you are tapping the screen. I want us to get the likes up. Let's get the likes up to 25,000 likes. Let's keep knocking out the daily gift goal. It's these little 1-cent gift goals. I'm going to keep resetting them right now in the pink heart post. I'm going to keep resetting them. If we can knock those out a couple of times, it'll push us out to the FYP. It'll get more people in here so we can have these conversations. If you're over on YouTube, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up on the VOD. And if you are over on Twitch, we got cool sound effects. We got cool stuff with bits. So, take a look at those. Make sure you follow me on all the platforms. If you're interested in joining the conversation, get up here. I will rotate people in and out as much as possible, because I want your voices heard. This week is about you. This week is about what you all think about the things that are happening inside and outside of our country. So if you want to share your voice, if you want to share your opinion, if you have any thoughts on what's happening inside and outside of the country, get up here. Last but not least, if you enjoy the live and if you enjoy the space, if you enjoy late nights, please consider donating to help keep it going. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link in the bio. Santana speaks for you. It's the best way to support the live. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. All right, Leader, I'm coming to you. Leader. All right. So Leader, I want to start here because your name sparked a thought, and it's really something that I've been talking about a lot lately, and I would love to hear your thoughts. So overall, we understand that in the House, the Senate, and the presidency, the left, Democrats, they don't have power, right? But something interesting has been happening throughout the entire time since Donald Trump won the 2024 presidential election, which is there has been a sweeping rebuke of Donald Trump and electoral politics, from general elections to special elections. Democrats have actually been winning across the board, up and down the ballot. Do you think that is an actual prelude to what's getting ready to happen in the midterm elections? And if so, what do you expect from the Democratic Party if they get any type of power?
Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope that they regain power, and that the fears that the Republicans have comes true, and I mean, Trump gets out of office. I don't know how the whole procedure works, but I think J.D. Vance would have to be impeached too.
So you want Donald Trump impeached and removed?
Oh, for sure.
Tell me about it. Why is that something that you would want the Democrats to do?
Just because he's just turned the entire world, not just our country, into utter chaos.
Okay. Do you feel like there's anything that you can specifically point to that that would necessitate him to actually be impeached?
I mean, there's plenty of things that he's skirted the lines with, and I think quite a few times even stepped over that would warrant him to at least be the articles of impeachment to be processed or brought up. I can't think of any in particular right now, but like just some of the stuff that he's tried to pass and then it's been struck down.
Yeah, I think that for sure, at the very least, if you take a look at what he's done, I know there's been multiple conversations. The biggest thing that jumps out in my head is the double tap, right? Where that's literally like a war crime, where there was a double back as far as making sure that the people that were on the Venezuelan boats were actually eliminated. I mean, like, that's definitely something, but I agree with you. I mean, I do think there is multiple bases for article of impeachments to be drawn. Now, the interesting part will be if that's actually something that not only is done, but if there's any type of removal. But there's also a different option besides just the impeachment. We'll talk about it a little bit a little bit later. Hold tight for just a second. Jay, coming to you. What do you think, though? Like, because I think that we can all say that there is a pretty good chance that the Democratic Party is going to win the House. Apparently the Senate is now in play. And you said something that really sparked my interest. You said, taking a look at most experts, we're in a point where, like, the planet might only have a few decades left. Well, we understand that this current administration has rolled back multiple regulations, environmental protections. I mean, it's overwhelmingly just saying, screw the planet. Do you expect the Democratic Party to step up and try to institute any type of legislation that would reinstate protections for the environment for our country?
Yes, I do hope that the Democratic Party would. My governess, is rolling back energy saving funds. But with the rise of AI, I hope that they put like restrictions on that, because we are running out of clean drinking water, because Trump basically was like, you know what, we're not going to have any restrictions on AI. Now anyone can use it, and you see it like being used for harm. Like I watch another political streamer. You're always like going live with them, Dean. And he brought up the fact that, that there was a very racist video made of our former president, Barack Obama, that Trump posted. That is why I believe that AI is harmful to both people in different races and the environment in general. And it's harmful to everybody. And it's slowly starting to ruin our ozone layer, our drinking water. And I hope that they start rolling on more legislations with it, like who can access it, who can,
Yeah, I do agree that like there's absolutely a need to institute protections, and I think even more so, like, that should be something that like people should run on, right? In the sense of, like, it shouldn't be executive orders that are appealed or standing precedents that's appealed. It has to be like the Democrats run on actually protecting the environment. I think that's something that we've seen a lack of, right? Where they're necessarily running on things that would be set into law and beneficial. More so, they tend to run on things that are like, hey, this is just something that we need to do. All right, but give me 1 second, Jay. Bill, I'm gonna come back to you because I seen Asher put something in the comments, and now I have like a direct question. So I'm coming back to you after this. I'm not forgetting about you, but I'm gonna hop up to Asher just for a second. Asher, you said the Democrats in their current form are useless. I don't disagree with you, but I was listening to gosh, what's his name? What's the guy's name? They call him the Raging Cajun. You know who I'm talking about?
I'm not sure. No.
He's a Democratic pundit. And gosh, let me look this up. And James Carville. Yes, James Carville. So James Carville was being interviewed, and they said, hey, do you think that the Democrats need to run on passing legislation or just run on prosecuting Trump? And he said that he thinks the Democrats need to run on prosecuting Trump, saying that if you give us power, we're going to fully prosecute everyone to the fullest extent of the law, because his logic is trying to actually get any type of legislation passed. Either it's going to be an uphill battle with, a split in the House or the Senate. And if something does get close to getting passed, then Donald Trump can veto it. Where do you stand? Because with your comments, you said the current form of the Democrats, they're useless, but it sounds like James Carville is advocating for like no legislation, but just like Orange Man bad. What do you think?
Yeah, Orange Man bad is absolutely what the Democrats have been running on for a while, because that's what the Republicans run on, is Orange Man, is blue haired liberal bad. Right. So we just have a system of fear and hate that prop up the two-party system, and they haven't been doing anything for us. Both parties, nothing. Right. The last guy that raised minimum wage, guess what president? Take a gander.
You can just say it.
Oh, it's George Bush. George Bush was the last one that raised it. That's crazy. We had two Obamas, a Trump, a Biden, and now another Trump, and we're still without a minimum wage increase. Like Democrats, we just need to vote all of them out. My representative is 74 years old. The last person that ran against her was in 2018. That's far too long for someone being run unopposed. That's crazy.
Okay, so help me understand your premise. When you said vote all of them out, you mean the current establishment, Democrats completely? What exactly are you advocating for?
Yeah, like the Democrats, I feel like they don't have an offensive team. Like when it comes to raising the minimum wage, passing Medicare for all, breaking up monopolies, they don't do any of that. They just campaign on it. Would you agree with that?
I think, to your bigger point, neither political party actually does much. I think the Democrats have done more, but neither one of them actually do anything.
Right. And so I think that we need to be angry enough to vote out and replace our Congress members, because us being mad as citizens and going out and protesting is not enough when no one's even running against the people that have been there for 20 years. They're all 70, 80 years old.
So you're referring to the current Democratic establishment.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, but you're still advocating for, so I'm assuming that you're advocating for more progressive, younger candidates that are actually going to do things that are more beneficial.
Yeah, and again, we as citizens have failed on this. Like, I'm mad at the Democrats, but I'm also mad at us for not running. Like, we have a lot of these incumbents that have been in Democrat safe cities that do not push for progressive policies. They're not pushing for reform. They're not saying, hey, Joe Biden, go do your job and pass Medicare for all. They're just saying, I can get reelected if I just complain about Trump. And Trump's going to be out of here in 3 years. Like, he's a problem. He's the most corrupt president we've ever had. He's still going to be gone. But the things that he's done to the system are going to last forever. Like, we can now pew other leaders without Congress approval. What's the point of having declarations of wars? Right? Trump could, Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't mean to derail for so long.
No, you're fine. So who, if any, leaders are you getting behind in the midterm or the 2028 presidential election?
For the presidential election, my number one pick is Andrew Yang. Right. I believe Andrew Yang was the number one guy talking about AI and job displacements early. I think he's a little nerdy, which is going to be tough for a sell as a presidential candidate, because you normally want someone cool. But I think that's okay.
So,
and then number
question
two,
for you, and this is me being realistic, right? Not Andrew Yang. He's okay. He has some ideas. I've been kind of receptive to him. I don't know, over the last couple of years. Anyway, Andrew Yang isn't a real contender for the presidency. Can we admit that?
That's a tough question. I'll bite with 70%. I'm 70% on board that he's not a real contender.
Okay. So is your premise that you're going to throw all of your weight behind Andrew Yang and like okay, I'll make it simple. Is this a Bernie bro type of situation for you?
For the president, no. For the president, I'll gladly vote for whoever is the least crazy. I voted for Kamala in the last election. I can say that proudly. I don't mind that I voted for Kamala. I did not like her as a candidate, but I did what I should do as a good little Democrat boy, and I held my nose and I voted for the not Trump candidate, right? But I think we should be able to say that this is not great. You know, there's a reason she lost, right?
Yeah, I agree. The point that I was trying to get across as far as like that situation, because there is a lot to be talked about when it comes to the left and how certain people who are passionate, and like I said, you know, that's why I said, who is the candidate you would support? And the fact that like it's Andrew Yang, I haven't heard that from anyone, but two, like people who tend to stick to those ideologies, and not saying that's you, tend to be like, well, it's either my candidate or it's no candidate. And I was just seeing if you fall into that category.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like that is something that people like. I don't fault people that have that ideology as long as they haven't maintained it for their whole lives. Like if they tried it for one election, maybe even two elections, and was like, well, this sucks. I just have to vote for the person that's the least bad. I get that. But yeah, it's just not a realistic look when we live in a two-party system where you really only have two legitimate choices. Voting third party is not an option unless we have something like ranked choice voting, which is just so far away from being implemented.
Okay. Yep. And that's kind of what I was thinking as well. All right, guys, for all the new people that just came in, tap the screen, share the live. Let's get the likes up to 75,000 likes. Also, send your daily heart me if you have not done so, and knock out the daily gift goal. And if you like to support the live, you can do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks for You is the best way to support the live. It's the best way to keep late nights going. Everything's accepted and things appreciated. If you're on YouTube, you can send a super chat. I will read that out. Bell, I'm coming to you. I want to kind of piggyback off of what Asher just said, and I would like to know your opinion on that, because I know I have mine, but Bell, just to kind of level set for a moment, are you a 92 percenter?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I'm definitely a 92 percenter.
Okay. What do you think about that? When talking about like the possibility of voting for someone who may or may not, or someone who may not have an actual realistic chance of winning, you know, an actual election, and then even possibly sitting out or throwing your vote away for a couple of election cycles. What are your thoughts on that?
As far as sitting out your vote or throwing your vote away, if you're going to do that, then you can't complain about whoever wins.
Would that be something you would ever do, Bell?
Would I never vote? No, I wouldn't do that, because then you come back and complain, because then you have no dog in the fight. So
would you ever say, you know what, I don't like either one of these candidates, so I'm just going to vote third party, even though I know my vote wouldn't count?
Oh no, I'd never do that, because that's exactly what the opposing side you don't want to win wants you to do. So no, I would have liked to see Bernie Sanders run, or either Cornel West, or either Kamala again, if she's going to run again this next, 2028. Kamala, sorry, yes. But definitely Cornel. He was one of my favorite. I think he started at the beginning of this last one, didn't he? But I think he got out earlier. I'm not sure.
He did.
So there's definitely great contenders on our side. There are. It's just they don't have a lot of people backing them.
I'm gonna hold a thought, but I have a question, like a more pointed question for you. What are you hoping to see happen at the midterms, and possibly at the 2028 presidential election? Who are you putting your support behind, and who do you think would actually do something beneficial for the American people?
Definitely Kamala, if she runs again, or like I said, Bernie Sanders. And I would love to see the Democrats, win the midterms if that's possible. I hope so.
Okay. Bernie Sanders is going to be super old.
Is anything better than the Mango Unchained that we got in office right now?
Yeah. What do you think about AOC?
About who?
AOC, Alexander Ocasio-Cortez.
I don't really know much about. I think that's the woman. I'm not sure, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not really on. I don't really know much about her.
Okay. Well, I would say if you are interested in Bernie, you should go look up AOC. You would love her. She is absolutely amazing. AOC is actually who I'm throwing my support behind for the 2028 presidential election. I hope she runs. I got a chance to actually hear her speak on the oligarchy tour with Bernie Sanders. I actually went to go see Bernie, and I was like, oh, that's cool. AOC will be there, and AOC stole the show, and ever since then, she has been someone who I've followed even closer. But she is someone that's a democratic socialist, and it's interesting. It seems like that's something that, at least if you take a look at the amount of support and goodwill that's been created by Zohran Mamdani. Do you know who Zohran Mamdani is?
I think I've heard of it. I think so.
Okay. Yeah, he is the Democratic Socialist mayor of New York. And he came in and he just immediately started doing the things, right? Immediately started, hey, we need people to shovel the snow in New York, $30 an hour, shovel the snow. Immediately came in and, improved so many of the different things that they said that it couldn't be done in New York, and his approval rating is through the roof. But Zohran Mamdani takes a lot of his positions and policies from both AOC and Bernie Sanders. And so I think if you like Bernie, then you would love AOC. So I would say check AOC out. Okay.
I definitely will. And also, this may be a long shot, but I would love to see Kamala and Jasmine Crockett run on the same ballot. That would be out. They definitely get my vote 100% hands down.
Yeah. Listen, I would love to see a combination of multiple women. I would love to see, there's a couple of women I think would be stellar when it comes to the top of the ticket and the VP, and that includes Kamala Harris, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, but I think she needs to run in the Senate first, or a little bit more time.
Oh yeah.
But I would love to see Elizabeth Warren, Congresswoman. Well, she couldn't run, but there's a couple of women that I would love to see, and you can kind of mix and match. And I think there's a deep bench when it comes to the people on the left. But all right, perfect. 1 second here. Guys, Debbie's in the chat for Heather. Heather sent a $5 donation, random, but I remember someone in your live having a group in Chicago focus on dismantling racism. Was it Kay? If you don't know, it's all good. I know it wasn't Kay, but I remember that conversation, Heather. I'll check though, and I'll let you know for sure. I can't. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Kay, but I remember someone that was in Chicago that said that. Does anyone remember that? Anybody's watching? It is you? Oh, it is Kay. Okay, so it was Kay. Yes, Heather, it was definitely Kay. So yeah, get with Kay. W's in the chat for Heather. Thank you so much for the 5. All right. Leader of the pack, coming back to you really quick. So I want to just kind of hop back in here and say we understand what the midterms, they're coming up, and the presidential election is coming up, and we understand the fact that the Democrats have been doing extremely well, but I think that we, as constituents, the people that vote left or vote blue or whatever, have to hold them accountable. What's one thing that you can say that you would demand of any Democrat that's looking to get your vote in the 2026 midterms or the 2028 presidential election?
Well, personally, I have 3 daughters. And I think we need to get their rights back. Bodily autonomy for them is very important for me.
So you would like to see an actual codification of Roe?
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what's funny? I was having this conversation earlier, and overwhelmingly, the majority of the country supports abortion rights, and so like that's definitely a winning topic, especially when you talk about the amount of people that have been targeted and who like the amount of women that have lost their lives ever since the overturning of Roe. You can even talk about the fact that since Roe was overturned, like the abortion numbers have skyrocketed. So like those are a lot of good things that you could run on. And I definitely think that's something that would, earn my vote. But anyway, leader of the pack, thank you so much for coming up. I'm going to swap you out. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Santana.
Thank you. Jay, coming back to you. What about you? What is something that would speak to you as far as earning your vote at the midterm or the presidential election? And what's a red flag? Is there anything that you're like, something in the milk ain't clean?
Okay, so I have my fiance is a trans man. And if you see lately, the trans women and the trans men community have been no, not button heads. Sorry, my fiance's in the room. Have been attacked. Basically.
Hi, fiance.
he literally will sit here. We watch you all the time.
Really?
So.
That's so weird. You guys are weird. I can't believe anybody actually watches me. You guys are weird for that.
No,
anyway,
like I will like when I'm at work, I will have you on. Like you are always live when I'm at work.
That's
and
weird.
I will sit in and listen to your debate lives while I'm at work.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel like I'm just sitting here talking to myself, and then like right now it's just us up here on the panel. I forget anyone else is listening. And
then like you introduced me to like some other creators like Covey and Athena, and like I've been watching them too. Like
super dope.
And honestly, a lot of my views at one point have changed because of you, and you have like changed a lot of my. I've never had any Republican views. I mean, like I'm talking about like economical stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, well, thank you for that. I'm happy to hear that, and I'm happy to have you guys a part of our community.
Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. I would want for my trans brother and sisters to be able to live their lives without the fear of being pew-pewed or unalived. Same goes for my fellow POC. I'm Native American, so my fellow POC people. Another thing is I would like more PPU registrations. Because I live in VA, and if you know anything about VA, recently we just had 2 mass PPUings, and I get terrified that I'm gonna get the call because I have like cousins that are like in school and still. I'm scared I'm gonna get that call like, hey, you need to leave work because this happened. A red flag for me is I'm gonna use our president, for example. How he says he's going like when he was running for president, lower gas prices, lower stuff. When you sit there and lie about something, you should not be lying during your campaign.
Wait a minute, Jay. Wait a minute. I got a hot take for you. Chat, I got a hot take for you. TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram. I have a hot take for everyone. I'm okay with lying to them. Sorry. I'm okay with lying to stupid people to get them to vote so we can do good things for them. I'm sorry. I will do it. I will lie to stupid people to get them to vote for us to do something good for them. I'll do it.
I agree with you, like completely. I'm talking about how he lied about how he was going to have the lowest gas prices in history, no new wars, stuff like that.
I agree with you. I think there is a huge difference between understanding like what's realistic, and I will say that like when you have the ability to kind of cut through the BS, like it's important to decipher when someone is trying to sell you a bill of goods versus someone who's really trying to do something intentional. What up, Dan? W's in the chat for my brother Dan. There's a huge difference between that. I'm sorry.
I said W. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. I think those are great things, right? I think some type of gun reform, that's absolutely a winning topic. And also like making sure that we understand who's really trying to do something beneficial and who's just selling snake oil. So I think that's a great. But anyway, Jay, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Belle, I'm gonna save you for last, sister. You're gonna have to hang out up here with me for a second. So you hold tight. Asher, coming to you. What do you think about what I just said? Because like I feel like some people might think that's a hot take, but I kind of feel like I could get you on board with that one.
Yeah, I feel like you're saying the sky is blue. Like okay, sure,
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like you don't even need to say that out loud at this point. Like Trump's selling Bibles.
Yeah.
I get that.
I understand the issue with being like honest and like having integrity, but I'm okay with but the thing that I've learned about speaking to people who vote Republican is they are quite selfish. They only care about themselves. And so they will vote based off of what they think they can get. And I do think that I'm sorry, if you got to lie to someone so I can give them universal health care, I will lie to them so I can give them universal health care. If I have to lie to them so I can raise the federal minimum wage, I will lie to them. Like, am I wrong for that?
I feel like your stances and viewpoints aren't strong enough if you feel the need to lie.
Tell me about it.
A minimum wage being increased has universally been shown to increase workers for wages at a larger inflation rate than all other industries, right? Mm-hmm. So there's the common thing that people will say, well, if you raise the minimum wage, inflation will happen. Mm-hmm. That's like, well, of course inflation is going to happen, but it's going to happen at less. Well, it generally does happen. Look at the
increases in minimum wage in states like California, states like Washington. The inflation rate didn't balloon. The cost of living came up a little bit, but the overall inflation rate didn't adjust. So that's not a direct correlation.
Oh, you're misunderstanding me here. We believe the same thing. It's that when you raise the minimum wage, inflation will happen in other sectors. It's will they happen as much as raising the minimum wage as the wage increase.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Got it. Right. Okay, that makes sense.
And that one's universally been shown to be like the best measure for getting wages up, right? Like if minimum wage is 15 at McDonald's, well, now working at the gym as a front desk person, that job pays $15 an hour. McDonald's is now having to pay 22. Because it's harder to work at McDonald's than it is the front desk of a gym, right? So,
but I'm confused.
So when you're saying why would you need to lie about why minimum wage needs to be raised to a Republican?
Oh, because easy, because not everyone who votes Republican is going to feel like that applies to them. So help me understand why you think that if you have to lie about something, your stance isn't strong enough.
Well, like, why do you believe in things in the first place?
Me specifically?
Oh, I just mean anyone. You specifically, sure, but I
believe in things based off of empirical data. Some people believe things based off of the fifis and their tum-tum. It just depends on who you're talking to.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. We're on the same page, right? So what I'm saying is that you come to these conclusions off of the empirical data, right?
Yeah, but not everyone applies logic. I have a whole hat for people who don't. Hold on, let me show you something. This is my special hat that I wear when I talk to people who don't deal in reality or logic. Like I have to put this on, and this protects me.
Sure.
When I talk to those people who actually don't deal in reality. So the point that I'm getting across is, like, you can sit here and say that, like logically speaking, yes, people should base their opinions off of facts and they should deal with reality. But a lot of people not only don't know a lot of things, they don't they're not intellectually curious. They're not going to, search for things. It's literally the world that we live in. It's people dealing with Maslow's hierarchy. You know what that is?
Yeah, of course. I think a lot of us as a community would agree that community got placed too high and it should be lower on the Maslow's hierarchy.
Well, but the point being, if people can't eat, then they're not going to worry about everything else. And so where we are as a society today, so many people are focused on just being able to eat. They're not going to do research as far as like whether or not policies are accurate, whether or not something has been done. If they hear someone, the reason why so many people were susceptible to the misinformation and disinformation of Donald Trump is because he said things that sound good, not because he actually did anything. He made people feel good with this. That's why so many people go to church, right? A lot of churches aren't really about the works of God or whatever the case may be. It's about making people feel good. And so a lot of people don't vote based off of knowledge or empirical data. A lot of them vote based off of how the candidate makes them feel.
So I think what we're getting into, if you're running for the 5th grade class president and you can say, I'm going to make recess free and lunch will be Domino's pizza. You can just make whatever promises you want, get in power, and then do whatever you can for the good once you're in charge. Is that the basic kind of
pretty
argument?
much? I mean, the inverse is currently happening. Think about it. Donald Trump said, I'm gonna make all the groceries low. I'm gonna make gas low. I'm gonna stop a war on day one. And as soon as he gets in office, I cut taxes for all the rich people. I'm giving money to Israel and starting wars. And they're like, oh, we didn't vote for that. It doesn't matter what you voted for. This is what we're doing. So why can't we, whatever specifically, speak to the things that those people who are selfish and they're going to vote right? Why do we have to tell them specifically the truth about we want to give them universal health care? I don't know how many people or Republicans you've spoken to, but apparently they don't like other people having health care. They're okay with not having universal health care if that means that other people don't get free stuff.
I've been able to convince a alarming amount of Republicans. I'm talking Alabama raised, deep conservative Republicans, pro healthcare purely on the economics at this stage of the game. America spends 19%, South Korea spends 9%, right? They're single payer, we're not. You can still have these conversations without needing lies to even.
Hey, Asher, what if I told you I just don't believe you? What if I told you that what you just said, I don't believe you, and it's not because you can't convince someone on economics. I don't believe you because of the conversation that you and I've had.
I think that would be based on where we both believe the American public is at this stage. And I think that you believe the American public is worse than where I believe. But I don't fault you for believing that.
I'm not saying I believe the American public is worse. I'm saying I believe that people are selfish and people look out for their best interests. But I also don't believe that you're out here talking to Republicans, convincing them on universal health care based off of economic principles. Not you. I'm sorry. I'm specifically, no offense, Asher, but I'm talking about you specifically. And the reason why I say that, I'm just going to, be honest with you. You have a sense of hubris that doesn't necessarily lend itself to something that Republicans, especially, Republicans who aren't of a certain tax bracket, would actually be willing to hear from.
Okay.
All I'm saying,
I don't feel like I could say anything to reject that claim. I'm from Alabama, right? Trailer park community, right? I lived in my grandmother's trailer, septic tanks backing up. I know poor Alabama, so I can speak to that. Then I also have, privilege in other areas, right? So I get.
I'm just saying. The point that I'm getting across is, again, I talk to Like I talk to a lot of people every day, a lot of Republicans every day. I'm from South Carolina myself, and the Republicans that you've convinced, have they been your family and friends, or is it just like random people that you've met?
Random people that I've met. Well, I would say both.
Okay, give me the breakdown. Give me the rundown that you would give like a random person in selling a random Republican on universal health care.
Well, I would have to talk to them first, right? So I'd have to know where they were at in terms of the conversation. I couldn't start dropping.
I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna play. Let's role play. I'm a bit of a thespian.
Okay, sure.
I've been in multiple plays. I'm gonna drop the dime on myself. I was a theater kid. I was in Theater Odyssey, and I was in many plays and musicals and all this other stuff. Anyway, all right. So I am the Republican. Universal healthcare. I can't do universal healthcare because I refuse. We already pay enough taxes right now. And I'm not going to pay more taxes just so lazy people can actually have free healthcare. Like they can go out and get a job and get healthcare just like I did.
Oh, first of all, this doesn't sound anything like a Republican thespian. You know, like a Republican thespian, first of all, is pretty of an oddity out there in the wild. You don't run across too many of those. I don't want to know what makes you a Republican.
I'm not playing a Republican thespian. I'm saying I'm a thespian playing a Republican.
Oh, I see. Yes, but like just being a Republican isn't enough information. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're role playing, Bub. I'm like trying to get you to show me how you would convince a Republican who does not want universal health care. I want you to convince me on universal health care on the economic basis.
Sure. Okay. So the U.S., right? We spend 19% of our GDP on healthcare. Right? Other countries are doing it for 9 to 13%.
Yeah, but if you look at other countries, like their wait times are the worst. So I don't want to wait forever just to get health care.
We don't have people's houses being taken away by healthcare. Other countries don't have GoFundMes.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I still have my house.
Yes, but I'm sure you at this point in the game know somebody who's been hurt by healthcare bills.
Not really. Everyone that I know pays their own bills.
Yeah, of course. We pay our bills, we pay our taxes, and we receive benefits.
And we pay way too many taxes already. Listen, Asher, I can't pay more taxes because people are lazy. They just need to go get a job. Like there's plenty of jobs that offer healthcare. So why do I have to pay for someone else's healthcare? They can just get a job that offers healthcare.
Oh, you're talking about paying more in taxes. I agree that we're spending way too much on taxes. Like, look at the war in Iran right now. That's just dumb. Well,
I mean, that's just something that had to happen. They were going to attack us, but that's fine. I mean, they're not coming after my healthcare.
Sure. War in Iran aside, we're spending 19% of our GDP on healthcare, right? If we adopt another system, our GDP percentage could be cut in half, like South Korea does it.
Wait, so you're trying to cut our GDP?
Well,
why would you cut our GDP? So wait, you want us to have less money?
No, I'm saying we're going to spend less money.
So you want our country to be poor?
No, I'm saying we'll spend less money. We'll have more money. We'll be richer. We could fight more Iranians.
How will we be richer when we have a smaller GDP?
I'm saying we're spending less of a percent of our GDP on that expense. If you're buying a burger for $10, it now costs $8.
What does that have to do with healthcare?
Well, we as a country spend money on healthcare.
Yeah, I pay my healthcare comes out of my check every 2 weeks.
Yeah, so your healthcare comes out of your check. Then you also have your deductible, right? And then you also have your taxes that we were talking about that were too high, that also pay for Medicare and Medicaid. Then we also have our taxes that go to, the DOD that are also paying on top of all of those things for healthcare for other U.S. citizens. Right?
But how is that
That
gonna, like, how, I'm so confused as far as what you're talking about, as far as like, how does that pay for healthcare? I just, this sounds too complicated. I think we should just keep things where they are right now, because I'm fine with the healthcare that I actually like my healthcare. I can go to the doctor and get checkups and everything.
All I'm talking about is totaling up our cost and looking what that is compared to other countries. And if you look at our total cost,
Yeah, but we're the best country in the world
more.
with the best healthcare in the world.
I don't know of anyone that just believes that we have the best, that our costs aren't out of control. Like
it costs a lot because we have the best. That's why everybody comes into our country to try to be doctors. That's why everybody, like Canada comes into our country to get healthcare, because our healthcare is the best.
You can fly to Spain for the running of the bulls. Pay for
I don't have
hotel.
a passport.
You can be gored by a bull.
I don't have a passport. Why would I go to Spain for healthcare?
The cost. I'm saying the cost of all these services you could have done in Spain versus the cost of having the hip surgery done in America.
Well, that's because healthcare sucks in Spain. Like they have long wait times. You would be waiting months to get a hip in Spain.
You have a higher life expectancy in Spain, and they pay substantially
I don't live in
less.
Spain though. I live here.
I'm saying that the average person in Spain now lives longer.
But you're talking about healthcare in the US. Why are we talking about people in Spain?
Because you were saying that the person in Spain has better healthcare than the person
No,
in the
you
US.
said the person in Spain. I'm talking about my healthcare that I already have, that I want to keep. Why are you trying to take my healthcare away?
I'm not trying to take your healthcare away. I'm talking about the price that we as a society are paying for our healthcare.
Okay, you want us to pay less for healthcare?
Yes, I want us to pay less for healthcare.
So then how is that going to give everybody healthcare?
How is that?
If we pay less.
If we pay less for healthcare, because all of the other countries are able to do it. We have a lot of smart people.
That's because we have more people in our country than those other countries. They got like 50 million people. We got 350 million.
Sure, economies of scale play in our favor. It just makes things cheaper. And then
how
we can just copy what their homework is. Like that's why Amazon does better than other small mom and pop shops, because they have economies of scale.
Why don't people just go work at Amazon then? Like Amazon has healthcare. And scene. You get what I'm saying, Asher? Like, I don't believe that you're the person out here convincing people like Republicans that they need to actually get on board with universal health care with economic policies.
All right, I'll throw one at you. Teddy Roosevelt, man in the arena speech, right? You got people out there that are willing to talk about it. You got people that are willing to say they're doing things, right? But are you running for any positions?
Am I running for any positions?
Yeah.
No.
As someone who has these belief sets that we're both on the same team, right?
I don't think so.
We both believe.
I don't think that you and I are on the same team. No, I'm saying I don't think you literally advocated for or not advocated, but you spoke from a place of position. I'm in a position of privilege, and I don't have that ability.
What policy would we differ on?
Well, I mean, I don't want to necessarily get into like policy differences. I think it's an ideology. Like, I don't think you and I align ideologically, but I don't think that's necessarily even worth speaking to. The point that I'm just trying to drill home is like, sure. I think that, I mean, you said that me saying lying to Republicans in order to do good stuff for them means that my policies aren't strong enough. Kamala Harris wanted to give people $25,000 for, tax credits for homes. Kamala Harris wanted to improve
first-time homebuyer credits.
Yeah, Kamala Harris wanted to improve the child care tax credit. Kamala Harris wanted to actually give pathway to citizenship. Kamala Harris wanted to help business owners, like all this stuff, wonderful policies. And people voted for Donald Trump because he said that he was going to lower gas, groceries, and end the war on day one. Now, you tell me what's the difference between Kamala Harris talking about amazing policies that she had plans for and Donald Trump lying about stuff that you and I both know that he couldn't do.
Kamala Harris represents the progressive movement, the anti-Donald Trump. We need to take a stand and start fighting for things like Medicare for all, start addressing housing, start addressing monopolies, owning everything. And then when she was asked what she would do in office different than Joe Biden, she said she wouldn't do anything different. She deserved to lose the race. We deserve more than Joe Biden. He was not a good president. And just because Trump is terrible, he's awful, he's substantially worse, does not give us the right to just go around and pretend like she was a great candidate.
Yeah,
that's not what she said. I'm gonna let you finish, but that's not what she said.
It's not. And so, Asher, see, this is the point. This is why, like, you know, I sniffed you out a while ago, right? And now you're just letting your flag fly, right?
What flag? America's?
No, your entitlement, bub. You are dripping with privilege and entitlement. Like the white privilege that is seeping out of your pores right now is illuminating. Like you have flooded this entire panel with privilege, and I hear it, I see it, and I clocked it. The point that I'm sitting here trying to make is you sitting here pretending as if we need to vote them all out. Sure, okay, we don't have enough progressive Democratic candidates to vote out all the establishment Democrats. Cool, I get you, I agree with you, but we don't have the candidates for it. You said that we need to just have good policy. And I tried to get you to explain to me how universal health care would work and benefit to a normal Republican. And whether you believe that was a normal Republican or not, that was absolutely a normal MAGA Republican. And you couldn't get out the blocks. You're sitting up here and you're speaking from a place of privilege and a place of being ultra highbrow, and you're just not getting it. You're literally not getting it. And then for you to say Kamala Harris deserved to lose, well, what made her deserve to lose? Because she wouldn't throw Joe Biden under the bus? Because she wasn't progressive enough for you in the things that she said? Should she have just lied and said, oh, I'm going to do all these things? What would have made her? Because you said that she had great policy, but she didn't say the thing that you like. That's why when I said, hey, who do you want as a candidate? And you said Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang, someone who can't win. You said 70%. There's 100% chance that Andrew Yang can't win the presidency. But you are sitting up here. You're sitting up here sounding like a Jill Stein voter. You're sounding like a Jill Stein voter. I'm just telling you, that's your privilege.
I mentioned out loud that I voted for Kamala Harris in the last election. Let me lead with that, right? I don't know what you want from me in terms of...
I just want you to hear yourself.
Reconciliation.
I literally just want you to hear yourself. Like, I don't think you can hear yourself right now, and I'm just trying to get you to hear yourself. As a matter of fact, just hold tight. Joanna, floor is yours. Swan, coming to you.
I mean, you did say that you voted for Kamala Harris. You also said that you held your nose and voted for her, and then you said she deserved to lose. You said that AOC is flawed, but she has good policy, while also saying that you wanted Andrew Yang. Like, I said in the comments earlier that you were dripping with privilege. It shows you have a whole lot of work to do.
Thank you for the statement.
And as far as you asking Santana, like, what do you want from me, Tyrese? Do the work. You have work to do. You have some deconstruction to do, and you need to do that. Swan, you can go ahead, boo.
Hey, Asher, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You are racist and you're misogynistic. That's all I got.
Okay.
And you've never deconstructed those things. You're not going to comprehend what we're saying until you do. That's it. I'm not going to sit up here and convince you to do that, because I would never fight a person and try to convince them to see my humanity. I think that that's a waste of time. I know for me, being a cishet person, no person who is LGBTQIA had to convince me to understand how I've been socialized and that I have a level of privilege and I need to work to dismantle that. No person with a disability has ever needed to convince me that their, humanity is important and that I need to educate myself on ableism and what that looks like and continue to work to dismantle that. It's not that person's job. It's no marginalized person's job to convince me of that. I understand how society works. I understand what would make society better. So I take accountability for the ways in which I've been socialized and the possible harm I may cause others. And that's it. I do it because I don't want to see people harmed. The problem here is that you're racist and you're misogynistic. That's it.
I think the big thing that needs to be hammered in and locked in on, Asher, it's not that you don't vote for people on the left. I mean, electoral politics, some people believe in it, some people don't, right? I am more closely aligned with people who, that's why I said the ideology, I don't think you and I align at all, because I align with people who don't vote. Literally, the way that I view the world and my perspective and the things that I believe in align with a bunch of people who do not vote. And I do believe in electoral politics because I think it has a place and I understand how to actually engage in electoral politics.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I didn't say anything to you. But the point being is that your sense of hubris is showing that you don't get it. That's the whole point that I've been trying to call out this entire time. I'm not saying that your premise is wrong, but I'm telling you the things that you're saying is just dripping with privilege. And that's my point.
Okay, well that makes sense. I'll figure out what to do with that. Thanks.
Asher, I had a question for you real quick. Have you run for office?
I have not before, but yes.
Are you currently running?
AsherForCongress. Yeah, AsherForCongress.com. You can check out my policies.
Tell us about it.
The
floor is yours, literally. We have over 1,000 people hanging out right now. This is the perfect opportunity. The floor is yours. I would love to hear your policies. And chat, stop it. Hold on. I'm sorry. 1 second. Chat, absolutely not. Stop it. Listen. Give him a chance. Let's hear his policies. Keep it together. You guys know we don't do that here. So watch it. Asher, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. I believe Citizens United has locked in both of our parties being purchased by corporations and the billionaires. And I think that the very first thing we need to do is to disassemble the two-party system, whether that be either the funding or the way that our votes make sure that we only have the two parties. My number one bill in office would be FLESH, or funding limited exclusively to sentient humans, where only campaign donations can be done from people. My corporate Democrat that I'm running against has already raised $600,000 in donations from APAC and insurance companies and healthcare. Meanwhile, the Democrats say that they're trying to work on things like universal healthcare. They don't care, right? I have two kids. They will go $7,000 each out of pocket to be born after my insurance. and Medicare and Medicaid and taxes. We're just getting screwed. Like, we can fix these things, but we can't with a Congress that is geriatric and sitting around. No one has ran against my incumbent since 2018. I am frustrated and angry at my peers for not running, and I'm just doing it because no one else is.
Are you actually running at the midterm election? When are you actually running?
It'll be the elections are in August. The midterms are in August, and then the primaries are in August. The actual elections are in November. Yep.
What are the polls looking like for you so far?
There are no polls currently. It is strictly getting on the ballot, which in Wisconsin you need 1,000 signatures from registered voters in your district.
Have you been able to canvass and get the signatures that you need?
I'm not able to legally accept the signatures until April 15th, but I do have about 8 people that are all willing to get out there and start canvassing for me. By the way, I'm not taking any corporate money. It's all individual donations on my end. I don't have any corporate sponsors.
And you're from Alabama, is that accurate?
Kind of. I was born in Missouri, then Florida, Arizona, Alabama, North Carolina, California, Alabama, now Wisconsin.
Wait, you're not saying that you were born in all those places. You're saying that's where you moved and you're from and things along those lines.
Right, that's my sequence, yeah. So, I speak liberal and Republican. I like Wisconsin a lot. It's a good purple state. We should just be more, we should be working for things and not just blaming the other party for the lack of progress. Joe Biden had the House and Senate and presidency for 2 years. We still didn't have any really meaningful reform. That's no good.
Who are you running against?
Gwen Moore. She's 74 years old. Again, she had over 600,000 in donations. A lot from APAC. I have a flash game that I have on my website called Gwen Moore Gobbles, where you feed her donation money, and it's like a flash game. Anyways, that's
why is this important to you?
I think that what is protesting or emailing or having any frustration?
No. Why is running actually important to you specifically?
Oh, because I've done all those things. I feel like I've protested, I've emailed, I've gone to civic meetings, and none of it mattered. It was clear they didn't care at all. And we're not even running against that.
And are you saying that you actually care?
Yes, yeah. I'm Alabama trailer trash. I have a nice thing up here.
You should maybe stop saying that too.
Sure. I mean, I don't think that anyone. I think that it would be offensive only to people that are above that status, right?
I think it would be offensive for, even though you come from Alabama and you may come from a trailer, I'm telling you, when people hear you say that, they're not going to hear themselves. They're going to hear someone who is super entitled, someone that's looking down on them saying that.
Okay,
Asher, this is the deal.
Sucks. I don't want to feel entitled, but I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, this is the deal. I was actually having a conversation today, and I plan on doing, I plan on doing a couple of different things because I want to help people, Democrats up and down the ticket. I've been able to make some really good connections, working on some more connections, and I want to be able to help. But in order to help, there is something I have to tell you right now. And this is just me being honest, Asher. You have no chance of winning right now. And I'm just being honest because your messaging sucks. Like you have a horrible way of speaking to people. And even more than that, you got some unpacking to do. But there's the good thing about this. You came to the right place for multiple reasons. I know Swan wants to speak to you, and so I'm going to give you the floor. I'm going to give Swan the floor. And while Swan speaks, I want you to stop for a second and think about this. I'll help you with your messaging, with your being able to get additional reach, and to whatever I can do to help support you get a fair chance in your race. But you have a lot of work that you're going to have to do on your end. And I'm not just talking about like the entitlement, but like you got some real things that you need to address. And so if you're willing to work on those things, then I'm willing to help you.
That's great. I appreciate help, and especially, feedback. It's nice to have an open and honest.
Think about it for a second. Swan, floor is yours.
Real quick, I do want to ask you this question, Asher. So there was a politician who most people don't necessarily know about. I believe his first name is Adam. And I want to read off his qualifications, and I want you to tell me if you think he would have been fit to be president over Trump. So he was an attorney general in his state. He managed a very large state justice department and was able to negotiate money for homeowners in the area. He was a senator. He did have recognition for incisive questioning in committee hearings, demonstrating and using his experience to tackle complex issues like criminal justice reform and human rights. He also did serve in a very high position within this administration in the past. And he was an advisor. He helped to secure infrastructure, investment jobs, and worked on voting rights and reproductive rights. He also is a cishet white man, just so you know. I believe he's Christian. And then he also developed something called the Back on Track to Reduce Recidivism and initiated programs against hate crimes. Do you think he would have been a better candidate than Trump?
Yeah, I would. You could say most. You could read off most resumes, and I would agree with that statement.
But in terms of what I said specifically pertaining to Adam, do you think that this person would have been fit for the position of being president of the United States?
I have no idea. I don't know any other policies. I just know
I just gave you some information. So did you not hear the information? Do you need me to read it again, or what?
What I'm saying is that none of the information that you gave me informs me of what their specific policies are. Right? You gave me some things that I might be skeptic of, like is this like an old cishet white dude who just wants to do the same Joe Schmo
He's 37 years
Maybe.
old, but I read you that based on the information that you've heard, what would you say about it?
I would think I need more information. I wouldn't make a judgment.
Okay, but based on the information that you've heard?
That's my answer.
You can't make a decision based on what you heard, and you plan on running for office.
Based on the decision that I've heard that he would be more fit than Donald Trump. Yeah, I said yes. I said yes.
Well, you said that most people would be more fit than Donald Trump.
99% of the population. Get a monkey that we can loosely interpret it with AI. ChatGPT feeds us the monkey symbols. More effective than Donald Trump. He's the worst.
I don't think that you're comprehending any of this. And I'll tell you why. I get it. Like the policies you wanted to hear. I get that, whatever. It is what it is. This person didn't necessarily come close enough to be able to like put that out, which is why I read the information about them that I did. I thought that would have been something you would have comprehended because I said they didn't actually run for president, right? So they wouldn't necessarily have policies, right? So I'm asking your opinion based on what you heard, if it would be a yes or no. I think it's a very lazy response coming from you to say that it would be beneficial or that anybody could just take the place of Donald Trump. I think that that's a very lazy response, but it is what it is. I think what I would say is when you talked about why it is that you're running for what you're running, you didn't name anything that's going to move people. You just centered yourself. You talked about what's happening with you and your family as an individual. You do not have an understanding of community and how community functions and understanding what the specific issues are within the particular area that you're running in and how you can fix those things. It is no problem for you to incorporate your own struggles into your solutions. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the problem is that you didn't take any consideration of other people, right, into your response. You just talked about what you want to do because of your individual struggles. And these systems where we will elect someone into office are not based on you implementing things that will only help you. It is about community. It is about the people. But I will say this. I don't think that you would have been better than Donald Trump based on what you said here in this conversation. I think that Donald Trump is doing better than you. I don't understand why you're running. I'm so sorry, Santana. I don't think you have a chance of running. I don't think that you understand what this truly takes. I don't think that you have enough experience of talking to other people. And I think that all of those things are important. For me, I'm going to be extremely critical. Why? Because we should all be extremely critical. We should all be critical of people that are running for office, because I have yet to see any true or real improvement that has really changed things for people as a whole. Things will shift left, things will shift right. Well, we haven't necessarily seen anything that it's truly improved the material conditions that people are living in. And that is going down the drain quickly right now. People's material conditions, all people, right? So we need people that truly understand what the issues are within the particular areas that they are running in. And then you need to be able to come up with plans that are going to resolve those things. And again, you cannot center it around yourself. No one's going to
Please
hear
also remember that this is a safe and friendly. That means I didn't mean to do that. I don't know how that happened. My bad. None of that. I don't know why I keep doing that. Hold on. Sorry. That was technical difficulties.
No, that's all I got. I think that you will definitely be beneficial in helping. That's just my personal assessment.
Asher, as a politician, go ahead, Santana.
No, go ahead, Joanna.
Asher, as a politician myself, I had a campaign question for you to see how you respond. If elected, what would you do to guarantee higher levels of racial equity in cities in Wisconsin like Milwaukee?
Raise the minimum wage. That's the best way to raise the income inequality that we have in the U.S. We have a major purchasing power in the United States right now.
Asher, you have to come back into the app. Asher, don't leave. Come back into the app. Asher, you're still here. We know you can hear me because you haven't officially. Oh, there he ran.
And I mean, like, everything Swan said, everything you said, but for everybody in the chat, I want you to notice how I asked about racial inequity, and he immediately hopped to, well, everyone is struggling and everyone needs more money. So let's just give everybody more. Giving everybody more money is not going to solve any of the racial inequities in, like I said, the city and the state that he wants to run in.
He's still here. He's literally still here watching. And you, Asher, there we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. I was in the hot seat. My phone totally died. I rushed to get on the charger. I'm back. I did not mean to drop the call.
Joanna, would you like to give him the question again?
So, Asher, what would you do to help solve the racial inequities in cities like Milwaukee in your state if elected?
I have a hard time understanding. So I pitched earlier that we had a minimum wage problem, and that's the major barrier to affordability right now, is that's gotten far behind being able to afford anything. If I talk about raising the minimum wage in Milwaukee, it's largely going to affect more of the African American population and the Hispanic population in my district than it will the whites. Right, the Caucasians.
White people.
Sure, the white people. Right, the white people. So if I'm talking about raising the minimum wage, I want to address that this does affect the racial inequity in a large way, and it's phrased a way that the white people could even handle it, right? They could. It's not a handout. It's just it's an equal playing field, and that's how I feel like that's how you're going to help out the inequity that we have.
So if you raise the minimum wage for everyone and Black people still can't get jobs because they're given to unqualified white people, how does that help solve the problem?
Oh, what you're talking about is a separate issue than what the one raising the minimum wage does. I totally agree that there is nepotism that goes across the board. But what I'm talking about with raising the minimum wage is the fastest way to address the wage stagnation that has particularly more affected African Americans and Hispanics than the whites, than the white people.
I mean, which is why I asked the question, because I figured you would have an answer similar to that. The fact that the answer that you just acknowledged, the answer that you gave, doesn't address the question that I asked is the problem.
Okay, what can I ask a question? Sorry to be so direct. How could I more address that problem? Because I feel like you were not happy with raising the floor for the minimum wage workers is going to more offset one race more than the others, or two races more than the others. So I feel like I did answer your question on how I would address the racial inequality, but I don't feel like you were happy with my answer. So I just want to know why.
I mean, because you literally just said the answer that you gave won't really solve the problem of racial inequity. So why is that the answer that you would give when the question that I asked was about racial inequity? I'm confused at how, which is why, like, I absolutely, as someone who's been running elections since 28 and winning, might I add, I've won 3. You're not ready yet. I take that back. In a state like Wisconsin, where you will be incredibly palatable to a whole bunch of racist white people that don't want to actually admit they're racist and don't think of themselves as racist, you would be 1000% exactly what they're looking for. So you could possibly win because it's Wisconsin, but
I disagree.
I'm running against a 74-year-old African American great grandmother. It's not great optics looking like I do.
It's not even that. I mean, like, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I know Swan has one other thing as well, but one second. I think it's pronounced Cyprus. Cyprus. Is that how you say it? I don't know if you saw my message in the chat. Cyprus. I know you said you had to go soon. Did you want to chime in on the topic here, or were you trying to speak on something else? Because I know we kind of got like way away, but
I'm like really underqualified compared to all you guys, but yeah, sorry.
Okay. Well, listen, feel free to come back another time. I'm sorry that we didn't get to you before you had to go, and I apologize about the whole thing taking kind of a turn.
No, you're good.
All right. Thank you. Swan, you had something really quick.
Yes. Okay, because I'm really trying to gauge like what Asher's, what they know and understand, because again, they kind of spoke mostly about themselves. So I was able to find policies or potential policies that this person had spoken on. I should have maybe looked a little bit, harder. So this is for Adam. Okay, you listening, Asher?
Yeah,
I'll just give you like a couple. So, one that has to do with the economy, just aim to lower costs by capping insulin and prescription drug prices, $35 a month and $2,000 a year, respectively. Another option they had put out there was investing in small businesses and entrepreneurs. When it comes to like social and domestic policy, they had talked about strong support for codifying AB laws into federal law. They had also talked about establishing like a Medicare at home program to help seniors with daily living activities. They did talk about energy. They want to focus on investing in diverse energy sources. Obviously, and understand why that is the case, I would hope. They did talk about, they also brought up trade. And they basically said that they would support using trade laws to combat violations of environmental standards and worker rights rather than like broad tariffs. So what do you think about Adam's policies or potential policies if they would have actually run for office?
Adam seems like a stand-up dude from last time. I would prefer to have Adam than Donald Trump.
Would you plug your nose at having to vote for Adam?
I don't know. If Adam was clear about these policies and had them on his website, I probably would have considered him. I don't know Adam.
Mm-hmm. So everything that I read you about Adam before and everything that I read you about Adam just now is actually pertaining to Kamala Harris.
Sure.
Kamala. Everything that I just read before and now was all Kamala's policies and Kamala Harris's accomplishments that would have made her fit for becoming the president of the United States.
If I may recall from earlier when you gave me a similar list, I said point blank, I don't know what I would do with that person. Right?
Yeah, because hold on, don't be disingenuous. You said that because of policy. So then I went and gave you the policies, right? And you said, you know what? Adam sounds like a stand-up dude for the most part. If that is what he's saying and that is what he would implement and work towards, then you would have voted for him. And you would not have held your nose voting for this individual, right? So when I tell you that you are racist and misogynistic, you just proved that to everybody in 4K.
Literally 4K. Literally. I'm sorry.
It's just tough to be called racist and misogynistic when I apply the same equal playing field of
truth hurts.
Critical review.
Asher.
You do realize that it's
Asher,
it's like harder. Yeah, it's harder experiencing racism. It's harder experiencing racism. Being a Black woman in America is harder than you being labeled, right, as a person who is a beneficiary of these oppressive systems.
I agree.
I also think it's so unfortunate that you spoke about an elder Black woman in the way that you did. I now know, right, why you only think it's important to center yourself, right? And then why you also want to criticize the ways in which she's getting money. You did the very thing that you criticize Republicans for. You said that they are all about just knocking down their opponent and bad talking their opponent. Well, that's what you did when you spoke about this elder Black woman. And I find that to be extremely disrespectful because I have a lot of respect for my elders within my community. The problem here is you, Asher.
Excuse me. Asher. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know maybe like 30 minutes ago, I said I would help. I'm gonna help you right here, right now. You're not ready. And I genuinely mean that. You can take my advice, you cannot take my advice. Perfectly fine. Like either one. You're not ready. I'm not saying that what you're doing isn't a worthy cause. I'm not saying that you can't get some type of experience. What I'm telling you is that you are not ready. like you just like you got like a little bit of light pressure and you fold it like a cheap paper plate. And even more so, I think there's a lot of stuff that you don't know. And that's a problem. I'm not from Wisconsin, but I have a lot of friends that are. I have, you know, I'm no one special, but I got a little bit of reach, and I have a thing for like galvanizing people, and I'm willing to help. But I think at this point, the most help that I can give you is telling you that maybe you need to work on your misogyny and your racism, and then take a crack at it the next election cycle. Because if you run, it will be a waste of your time, energy, effort, and money. I'm just telling you. I think it would do you a lot of good to actually maybe check out a couple of these spaces that you don't normally frequent. Maybe get into some deconstruction. Maybe read a couple of books. Talk to a couple of people. And then, like, I think that, like, because the thing that I clocked was your inability to actually effectively communicate to people on like a human level. And whether you think that like you have good policies or not, if you can't convey the message, then people aren't going to hear you. And you can't convey messages because you haven't actually like addressed those things that's like a problem with you. So the only effort that, the only help that I can actually offer you right now is telling you that I don't think you should run, but that's just my opinion. And opinions are like buttholes. Everybody got one. So that's just my butthole. But what I will say is if you plan on working on like addressing some of these issues that you have, I would definitely be willing to help you in the future.
I appreciate the feedback. Thank you, everyone, for being honest with the text here. And yeah, I wish you guys all have a good night. And we got 3.5 more years of Trump, so we all got to buckle in.
Actually, we have a little less than 3.5, right? Yeah. Hold on. No, wait. We got a little bit more. Wait, what month is it? It's March now.
Yeah, we got a little more.
You got a little bit more.
We're 1 year down. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like it's been 20. It feels like it's been 20 years. Asher, holy smokes, he left before I could finish my sentence. Okay. Asher, never mind. Go count the blades of grass and then come back to me. If you know, you know. I think the thing that that's kind of disheartening is that it's a situation where it's people who think that they're doing things for the right reason, but they get caught up in doing it for the wrong reason. Okay. Management K, I know you two are listening right now, and I need you two to just lock in for like half a second. And I'm only talking to you two right now. I really want to choose violence. Just for like 2 minutes, please. Yes. Okay. Is my mom watching right now?
What the song say? Swing, ho. Oh, sorry, Mama Jones.
Hold on now.
I forgot. My bad.
Let me check really quick to see if she's watching. She's not watching right now. Hold on. I'm waiting for the second vote. I know. That's why I said for like 1 minute. Like 1 minute.
Yeah,
hey,
there's
Dylan,
no such thing as white privilege.
Listen here,
bro.
you. Wait, stop for a second. You
I know you
fucking
think
donut.
because you've been
Stop for a second.
brainwashed.
Shut up. You keep coming into late nights trying to debate me, and I've told you multiple times, you fucking idiot, that late nights is not a debate. You see a panel discussion, and you keep coming in here.
Bro.
Shut up. You keep coming here on a panel discussion trying to debate me, and I keep telling you when I'm doing debates, but for some reason you never want to come back when I'm actually debating. I don't care. You keep trying to come back when I'm not debating, and you're doing that on purpose. You see this as a panel discussion. You're a coward. Either you come back when I'm actually debating, or you stay out of my request, you stay out of my chat, and you stay out of my inbox. I don't care what you have to say right now. You can come back when I'm debating, and I will dog walk you then.
Bro, you're...
That was less than a minute. 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 That was literally less than a minute. That was less than a minute. Joanna, Swan, he keep playing in my face like he can't tell the difference between late nights and sparring. Like, I think it's pretty clear when I'm doing what.
Agreed. I mean, do they have a sense of, I mean, we already saw earlier this week that they don't really have a sense of self-awareness though. So yeah, that's not surprising. Also, W's in the chat for Santana because he ate down.
Did you call him a idiot?
Yeah, a damn idiot. A idiot. Yeah.
That's a new one. That was clever. That was clever.
Yeah. Okay. We got a bunch of people in the box. I'm gonna rotate you two out, and I'm gonna try to get to a couple more people so they can because they've been waiting patiently.
Okay. Thanks for having me up. I
appreciate you both. Yep.
Thank you, twin. Y'all do all the good stuff in the chat since I'm still up here. I'm gonna do a little quick mod announcement. We should have been up over 150K. Y'all need to get these fingers flying. I know y'all were screaming at Asher in the chat, but y'all wasn't tapping enough. Y'all need to get these taps up. Let's get up these shares and reposts. Hit up the gifts of the panelists that you like. Santana, you need to reset that gift goal so we can keep that going as well, so we can get more pushed out and people can come in and indulge in some of these conversations that are not debates for everybody in the chat who still doesn't understand. Thank you. You can drop me down.
Thank you, Joanna. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Got a bunch of people coming in now. W's in the chat for Heather. Heather sent a $5 donation. Thanks. I'll give Kay a follow.
Oh my.
Irma, was that you? Irma, that sounded like that was you.
No, that was not me.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
No, it would be louder.
Okay. W's in the chat for Heather. Heather sent a $5 donation, and Heather said, thanks, I'll give Kay a follow. I'm in Chicago and I would love to learn more. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the $5 dono, Heather. And W's in the chat for Giovanni. And Giovanni sent a $1 donation. Please read DM. Okay. W's in the chat for Jace, who sent a $2 donation. Go all king. That was not the best of me, and I apologize, but I just had to do it. But W's in the chat, guys. If anyone else would like to support the live, if anyone would like to support what we do here on late nights, normally do here on late nights, please consider donating. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Pay links and links are in the bio. Santana speaks for you. If you're over on YouTube, you can send a super chat and I will read that out. So there's a lot of people that have been waiting, and we're kind of getting closer towards, the end than the beginning. But I do want to try to talk to a couple more people. So Irma, I'm going to start with you. Would you like to chime in on the conversation that we're having around the like midterms, electoral politics, or did you want to speak on one of the other topics on the background as far as like how other things are in the country or the current global status?
I'm still kind of thinking about the other conversation.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, wherever you want to go, floor is yours.
I think, like when I can't remember who asked it, but they asked, what would you do to help with the racial inequalities? And I kind of drew a blank myself for a second. I was like, I have no idea what I would do. And I started thinking about it, and I'm just like, it all goes back to, finding out what the root of the problem is. And like for marginalized groups, especially like Black folks and people with disabilities and stuff, it's usually related to poverty. And I believe that if we address that problem, especially within the Black community, that would actually help with racial inequality. And one of the ways we can fix that issue is by education and also putting money back into those communities and putting more focus on those communities. For example, my son is autistic, has autism, and one of the programs that we used was called Respite, which is where they can go and either hang out for a couple hours, or if there's enough people there, they can actually spend the night. And that funding was cut in a way, but they now offer like vouchers. Like if you have a neighbor or someone who could take over that role, they would get the voucher. But that doesn't work for me because I live in a smaller city than what I'm used to. I'm originally from San Antonio, and I live in Abilene now. Mm-hmm. And most of my friends have either moved away or passed away, or we don't talk anymore. So I know very few people here, and even the few people that I do know wouldn't be able to help me in that aspect. So I think we just need to focus on those communities that are really hurting, that are really just trying to survive, and just go from there. Just try to make things better for people who are struggling just to make it.
Yeah. Thank you for the cap. Yeah, no, I not only do I agree with that, but I think like when that question came up, the thing that I thought about, and I think the thing that a lot of politicians don't take the approach of, and I think it would be more beneficial if they did, is stopping and actually talking to the people. Like sitting here trying to figure out what I need to do to answer this question without actually talking to the people is pointless. And I know that's a problem that I have with the Democratic Party. And I think that's a problem that a lot of people have with the Democratic Party is that, and thank you for the pot of gold, they don't actually like go out and look for the policies that people want. They like to try to dictate the policies to people. And so if you truly want to know how do you deal with those issues, how do you address those issues, you address those issues by having those conversations with those people and allowing the people to tell you what's important to them. And then you craft your policies and your message that way. Like that's how you have to do it. And I think that's the actual failure that just occurred, was he didn't get that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Like, I think if we had more like town halls and actually reached out to marginalized groups to see what they need instead of what we think they need, that would actually work better for everyone.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. All right, well, Irma, I'm gonna swap you out because I'm gonna try to get as many people in here as I can. Okay.
Thank you so much for having me up again.
Thank you. Have a good one. Zara, how are you?
Hi. Oh,
Hi.
child, fighting the world one day at a time. Thanks.
I know that's right. Listen, me and you go back to back. Let's fight it together.
Yes.
Did you want to chime in on what we've been talking about? Did you have something specific on the background? Okay, floor is yours.
So I want to say a few things. First of all, I just want to recognize Joanna and Swan's emotional labor for that, and kind of to build on the topic on an interpersonal human level, like how you were commenting on the necessity to be able to actually communicate messages to people. And then we were talking about like the issue of like what to do with the wealth inequality. The question is even more existential. And I'll connect what I'm about to say to what I really want to talk about as well. When Swan is saying, I don't want to do the emotional labor of humanizing myself, what does she still have to do? She still has to do that labor on this stream along with Joanna to still guide and lead questions and to kind of gently boop him. Like even your like addressing of him, right? Like this is all still emotional labor that is still fundamentally connected back to what Swan was saying. Is like, I don't want to have to do this labor to be seen as human. And so it disturbs me because how can we have, as the previous woman said, this ability to have focus on these communities when they don't even see us as human for so long as encoded in the psychosocial racial infrastructure of this society. Now I'll connect it more to what I wanted to bring up. I'm actually a Black trans woman that has fled to Canada. So far, to my understanding, I am, at least within my grapevine of connections over and under the table, and the political allies I'm mustering, I'm at least, again, known, not literally obvious. I cannot obviously say it's a whole country, but at least media facing and known, I am the only Black trans person that has been able to get up here. And the only reason I got up here was because I had a white male say to me, this is my property, let her through. Of course, just like with Asher, or whatever his name was, I ended up having to flee him because of that very racism where Swan is saying, I don't want to have to labor to be seen as human, and having to confront that with my husband in a foreign country as I'm fleeing the fascism of the United States, and he's still failing to the task, abusing, and I have to flee him. All of that to say this, when we're talking about these political issues, there are now some YT trans people up here, far more than me, obviously. I'm starting to network them, right? Because they don't have any of the infrastructural communal understanding of mutual aid or survivalship. And so I have already been doing a lot of this political stuff since last year, since I was up here. And so I've been gathering them, right, trying to form basically an American trans refugee community. And I'm thinking, okay, so if their lives are on the line, the people they love are on the line, their very politics are on the line, right? Because these are all YT trans people or their immediate parentage or partners that fled with them, right? And thus we're becoming a new like trans-oriented American refugee group. I'm the one, since I'm the one already doing all this work, I'm the one that's like, boop, 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 grabbing them all together. And I did that. And then they like Spore, I kind of just sat there and I said, okay, I know they're going to like fragility and shatter each other and cry and like, who's the biggest victim? And I knew that was going to happen for a while. But then I thought, okay, the fire of unalivement being right up around the corner is going to spur them into action. And they just sit there. They sit there for days, quiet. Nothing happens. They don't do anything. And finally, when they finally start doing actions, they're like, maybe we should email representatives. Maybe we should go do that. It's like, honey, I've already been contacting representatives since I was in a women's shelter last year, before I even had status. There's now a new petition that came out in Canada. It's E-7195. It's by an MP named Ernie Clausen. I'll tie this back to the States in just a moment. Thank you for your time. E-7195. That is a specific petition to say that the United States is no longer safe for LGBTQ people. That MP is person who knew me from last year. I am he didn't confirm, but I'm most likely, especially at the time period, the first, or at least one of the very first, to actually communicate to him about being a trans person up here, actually in the situation I'm in, and the importance of having a more litigative pathway for fleeing trans people. So I've already been doing this work, meeting politicians, whatever, what have you. And you have to remember, these YT people have already been up here too, longer than me, and with status longer than me. And they hadn't done jack. And now they're still at ground one, being like, oh, let's email people. I won't go on and on. But the point is, when we go back to someone like Asher, I think if that was his name, I don't see the capacity, because if you're even seeing some of the YT people with even one axis of marginalization, and they're cracking at the seams and so interpersonally incompetent with each other to form cohesive bonds, where they're crying about, well, I'm only a refugee claimant, I can't do anything. Well, it's like, I've been a refugee claimant since I did finally get status, and before I even had status, I was already doing things. So what is your excuse? What is your excuse? You're a leader. You are up here earlier than the majority of the trans population. You have a privilege to be up here. You need to be a leader. And they crack. They crack and they crumble. And so when I think about this recent experience I'm having up here, trying to check these YT trans people, when I think about Asher and the interaction between Swan and Joanna, and then these people taking office, I'm really horrified. I don't know if I don't know. I believe as a collective, they don't have the capacity. They're too lenient on their own YT supremacy, and that means weaponized white fragility. I don't think they can handle it.
Yeah, I'll say this, and this is kind of like, I talked about it a while ago, and I played a video, and what it speaks to is the fact that the reason why a lot of non-white people are saying like, hey, you know, I'm not going to put my life and my body on the line, I'm not going to step up, and I'm not going to do these things, is because the white people that are saying like, hey, this is a problem, you know, the world's on fire, you know, black people and non-white people as a whole have been dealing with these types of things. And to your point, like that ability to say like, okay, we have to do this, we have to fight, we got to figure this out, we got to do this. And there's a multitude of things that we shift towards. And certain people who've never felt this quote unquote level of oppression don't know how to deal with it. And even more so, one thing that we have been saying in masses is that like, we're not going to put ourselves in the line of fire without knowing that like white people, and I'm speaking to all the white people, anyone who would call yourself, you know, an accomplice, anyone that has learned anything from my space, any white people within the sound of my voice, if you enjoy anything that I say, if you enjoy listening to me or whatever, hear me when I say this, you have to create the contract that is unbreakable with the non-white people in order for us to actually step up and be willing to stand side by side with you to fight what's happening anymore. Because there's been too many times in the past where white people said they had our backs, they said they're right there with us, and black people, other non-white people have been left holding the bag. And when things got tough or things felt comfortable or the cameras turned off, you guys would walk away and it would just be everyone else holding the bag. And until you guys can create that actual bond and that contract that we know that won't be broken, you're not going to get the type of support from anyone else that you want. And that's what you're speaking to. And a lot of people are facing a reality, Zara, to your point, that they don't know how to do the things themselves.
Yes, and with this particular person I'm thinking of up here, she was like, you know, I'm hearing more and more what you've done. I want to amplify your voice. I want to follow you. I'm like, sweetheart, I don't need another follower. I need you to go back to the other YT people and make them useful. Yeah. That's what I need you to do.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that was too much. And I guess amplifying my voice didn't exist no more.
Yeah. I tell, like, when I debate like ending white privilege, and you know, people come up and they'll say, oh, you know, well, what do you want me to do? If you're a white person, like specifically white men have to advocate for ending white privilege. I can't do it. And even when I debate like, you know, removing men leaders or, you know, dismantling the patriarchy, like men have to do that. Like the people who benefit from these things, the people who are like at the forefront have to be at the forefront. And so like, you're absolutely right. But Zara, thank you so much for coming up and sharing that with us. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much. Be well.
All right. Have a good one and be safe. Mark Dog, the floor is yours. Did you want to chime in on something that we have been talking about as a whole, or did you want to talk about one of the topics on the background? What do you want to take it? Mark Dog, are you there? Mark Dog.
Hello? Yeah,
yes.
hello?
Yes.
I'm sorry, man.
Yes.
How you doing, Santana?
Good. Did you want to talk about any of the things we've been talking about, or did you want to talk about one of the other items on the background?
Well, I just came for the violence, but I guess I'm a little too late for it.
Oh, no, we normally don't have violence here. That was
no,
like
a
minute thing.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, I was just, like you mentioned, the contract between white people. Mm-hmm. So, like, as a white male, like, where do you, like, I wouldn't even know kind of where to start, because it's not like there's a signed contract and like, hey, we're not obeying this anymore. Like, what could I do, you know, to help or to deal with that?
You're not gonna like my answer.
I'm ready to hear it.
Go ask a white person.
Hey, Santana, can I cut in on this one? Yep. As a white girl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, so something we can do that's super, super easy that would just help the demographic is stop letting people make super casual racist jokes. Ask them what's funny about it. What's funny? Make them explain their joke.
Usually stops them in their tracks.
Absolutely. It makes people kind of look at each other and be like, why aren't you laughing? And then get super uncomfortable. If you want to take it another step up, bring your phone out, record it. Do what someone did on TikTok of someone being super misogynistic. It went super viral, dude. 3 million views. Say that again. Say some women should be hit. And he just kind of stared at the camera like, no, I'm not going to say it again. You know? And none of his friends backed him up. That's what we can do as a whole for women and for racism. That's what we can start with. As someone who is not in politics, is start with our friend groups. Start with the people we know. And that branches out eventually.
For sure. Yeah, I was totally just kidding about the violence.
No, I'm not even talking about violence. Like, it's totally okay to pop off on someone. Absolutely, Santana, round of applause to you. You popped off, and it was fantastic. That is necessary. Some people genuinely do not understand when something is not violent. And it's, as long as you are not inflicting violence on people, but like you're educating them for real and trying to understand the viewpoints without being disrespectful. That's where we can start to help.
Well, that's a good start. What did you think, Santana? Like, I guess ask a white person, you're saying like,
did you want me to just mansplain what she said?
No. No. I guess I was asking what you meant. At first it didn't like sound right, but you meant just bring it up to more people. Like, not just, you know, I guess addressing a racist joke, but actually
like when we're in high school, right?
Yeah.
We say a lot of stupid shit. We're kids. We're trained by our parents, by our friends.
This is still
I'm so sorry for swearing.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I will make sure to refrain from that. But we say a lot of not smart things in high school because we don't know any better. You know, we joke around with our friends, you know, we make fun of the bigotry that's in America because it's normalized. It's so normalized. It's literally a joke to most people. So if we take a look at it and we're like, what's actually funny about it? Someone just existing is funny to you, you know? And it's just like someone trying to make a living. I am privileged, not only as a white person, but from the area that I come from the people I was raised by my community. And I am well aware of that. And I might not do a lot to help more in my community, but I do enough to know what is right and wrong and educate my friends and family on what is right and wrong. And that's where I stand.
Absolutely. Yep. I was just about to come to you. What's going on?
Well, Cassie, I liked where you're going in the start, but I thought that was just like a kind of a jokey thing you were saying. But like, let me ask you to start. Are all white people racist?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, girl.
Like,
okay, so you can't be giving anybody advice because you don't even have the basics down. Okay, so like, let's start there. All right. So all white people are racist. So that is a yes. So if you know how to give anybody else any kind of deconstructing advice, we need to start there. Okay. So I'm not sure how you watch. Do you watch Santana?
Are you talking to me?
No, I was talking to Cassie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm super new to it. Actually, that was going to be something that I was going to talk about in a later thing. I was just kind of touching on the topic.
Okay, well, yeah, we need to start like there at the very basics. So it sounds like you got to as well. I would suggest both of you hang out in Swan space. Okay, so Authority Swan, give her a follow like right away, and hang out there as much as you possibly can in the chat, in the comments. Okay,
for sure.
And
Thank you.
also look into reading White Fragility. Okay, you guys.
I'm actually writing this down right now.
Okay.
You said white fragility. White fragility.
Yes. White fragility. For you as a woman, I would recommend reading Hood Feminism.
Okay.
I mean, he can read that too, Mark. But yes, both those are good books to start. I have many more I can give you guys, but that would just like, I personally like hanging out in the spaces of deconstruction because that's just how I learn the best. But I also do my own research, right? So I don't just trust what people say. I also go back that up by the research and the studies and things. So if someone says, oh, there's this medical racism, right? Like, I don't just take what they're saying. I go and look up that study they gave. Or, you know, another person to write down is Adorna Lukes. I've learned like so much from her. Like, she's brilliant. So like she has millions of studies that she'll mention. And so you can just follow her around in these deconstruction spaces, and she's just amazing to learn from, and write down any kind of study she says and look it up. So I would start there.
Can you send me a DM about some of this stuff? Like, I am genuinely interested in learning. That is why I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead and like hit my follow or send me a message, and I can send it to all to you in there. I think you can send me a message, not being my friend.
For sure.
But yeah, that's where to start. And you have to start deconstructing all the things that we learned that were wrong, right? Like all the white supremacy that we've learned. So, I mean, I liked where you were going to begin with, right? When it came to that calling out a joke, right? Like that's great, but that was like a baby step in the right direction. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it does start with all white people are racist.
And then I was also hoping to touch on some of Asher's policies with the conversation, like just go back on what we were, because I joined around that time that he was in. And I think it was Swan who asked the question about, you know, what would you do to raise the wages of people of color and like close that gap a little bit. And he kind of went back on that policy really quick the second somebody put like a little bit of pushback and was like, well, what do you want me to say? And I just feel like we as a whole need to be more educated before we get into politics, which is why I don't consider myself political yet, because I don't have all of the understandings. But I also know we can't just give out free money, because at that point it would raise the taxes, and it would also raise the wage, like the way of living and everything like that. So it's not like we can just make that money out of nowhere and it wouldn't solve the problem.
That was not. I'm not really sure why you're going back to Asher. He was dealt with, and that was like a no-go.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Hold on 1 second. Because we are good with I'm good with that, but hold tight for a second. Kay.
So I kind of want to piggyback off of what Boss Liddy was saying, but the resources given, book-wise, I don't have so much of a problem with that. But saying that going into these spaces and doing deconstruction there, that's not where deconstruction takes place. All of those places aren't places for deconstruction. So just going in there and listening is one thing. But when you come up and try to correct somebody on something, Cassie, as you did, but you don't have a fundamental understanding of race or racism, it's best for you to stay in the chat and not join and listen and learn. It's really important for you to have a grasp of basic concepts before you try to explain, just calling people out for joking, about things. But be careful of what spaces you are in, because not all of them are places of deconstruction, and deconstruction shouldn't take place on TikTok at all. You can learn things on TikTok, you can go and resource them, and you can read, but it shouldn't be taking place on TikTok at all.
Absolutely, and that makes so much sense. I really was just coming up here to learn, and I just was putting my 2 cents in on that specific conversation. And I really do want to learn more.
The funny thing is that you were on the panel when it was just said about how not to ask Black people for their labor. And so when Mart was can you mute yourself, because you got some background noise. So, and then you came in and gave this example of something that he should do without a fundamental understanding of it yourself, because the first question asked to you, you were like, absolutely not, showing that you don't have that understanding. So coming up onto this panel to learn, panels are not to learn on. Comment sections are to learn on.
I completely take the advice. Thank you so much. I'm super new to Santana. Actually, I think this is like the second live I've been in for you. I do watch your content with Dean and with Parker, though. So it's not my first exposure to you. But I am so sorry. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to hop out of the panel, but I will still stay in the live. And I do appreciate the criticism, and I'm super excited to learn. Thank you, guys.
Wait, hold on. I think Swan wanted to say something.
This is in general for a lot of people, especially when we are in the age of this administration just wanting AI to do any and everything. I am very much so against people getting their first encounter with knowledge, and that being the only encounter that they have with knowledge happening on TikTok. I'll explain why. There was one time a mutual of mine showed a screenshot of a background that had a list of privilege for white people and a list of privilege for Black people. The very first thing listed under Black people was affirmative action. Affirmative action has been done away with. We know that affirmative action benefited white women the most, and we know that affirmative action was not something that was implemented to give people a privilege, right? Because the people that needed the affirmative action to be implemented were people that were in the negatives, right? Or behind the line, right? Pushed to the margins of society. Programs like affirmative action and DEIA were implemented to mitigate that discrimination that pushes the marginalized to the margins of society. So you could be in here, Cassie, and hear information from here, and it will be accurate. And then you can go to another space, and they can say, well, anybody can be racist, If you call somebody a C record, that's racist too. And we all have to work on our racism, and then you're not necessarily getting the correct information, right? So even if you learn something new on TikTok, write it down, and you must follow it up with your own research later. Not everybody's face on TikTok is going to be giving you the correct information. You have got to make sure you take accountability and you take the initiative to look certain things up, because we're talking about people's lived experiences. We're talking about people's material conditions. We're talking about the fact that we live in a country where Black women and their infants cannot go into a hospital and always know that they're going to make it out alive because of medical racism. People's lives hinge on this information. People's lives hinge on this information being correct. So it's an imperative that people do their research offline and get the information from credible sources. That's number one. Number two, I also think it's very important for people to take accountability for the fact that they may not know something, and to just sit with that, and that is okay. As a teacher, I will tell you, I know most people grew up being shamed when they were wrong. You're an adult. You don't have to, you do not have to be ashamed in any way, shape, or form. What you can do is admit that you don't know something. And then that opens up a new pathway for you to go and learn the correct information. It's like unlocking, it's like a new level unlock. Well, shoot, I didn't know this. No, let me go investigate this. Right. So I think that it's very important for people to understand these things, right? Even when it comes to ABs, this is just one example pertaining to people with uteruses, right? If you do not know, ABs were demonized when men wanted to monopolize healthcare towards women's bodies. That's what it's about. It's not about Christianity. It's not about religion. It's not about morality. It's about capitalism. A lot of people don't know that. It's about capitalism. It was pushed because men wanted to monopolize that aspect of our healthcare system. But people don't know that. And you will hear them argue against this every day. So I just wanted to give that information out. It's okay to say you don't know. And please make sure you are doing your own research and you are using sources that are credible. Right? Because then you can process the information in a way that is going to be beneficial for you. And that's all I wanted to say. You can drop me down, Santana.
I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much, hon. Like, genuinely, I do really appreciate the information. Also, I'm so sorry, you guys. I wasn't trying to cut off Kay. I was just trying to drop out because I realized that the conversation wasn't productive towards this live, and I wasn't being helpful towards the conversation. It wasn't that I wasn't taking the information to heart and I wasn't listening. It was that I was genuinely not wanting to interrupt the live more than I have.
No, this is a learning lesson. I'm going to say this on Kay's behalf. You're running from the information now. Kay's giving you the information. This is a learning experience, and this is going to benefit you to listen to what Kay has to say.
Oh, I have. I wrote down everything that I can look into.
Wait, Kay, did you finish?
And no, that boss talked about, and I am very interested in learning and with
Kay,
real.
did you finish what you were saying?
One run-on sentence, like.
I was about to say we couldn't hear nothing that you were saying because it sounded like you was like this.
But the one thing I'm going to call out right now is, I don't know why you would be up here calling people hun after they gave you such, like, their time and labor. That was just disrespectful. Honestly, I mean, you want resources and things to start you off with, I'm more than willing to give them to you. I do think a thank you and a exit is all you need. It's like 2 words and a X hit. So, like, because I honestly, I'm not really sure what exactly you're really taking from this, because it's just like you got to get out as many words per minute.
Okay, then thank you.
Thank you. Mark Dog, we got some white people up here if you want to talk to them.
You want to drop me down? I ain't wait.
No, you figure out how to leave yourself. Nobody dropping you.
I'm going to drop myself.
No, I've learned a lot about white fragility from you for sure so far. I got to read the book now, I guess, but.
I will say the reason why I said you want to talk to a white person is because Swan says it so eloquently. Having a black person try to teach you how to see the humanity in black people, and then taking those steps, that's not the job of a black person. And while I love the fact that you learn here, if you really want to like take the steps and work on like those things, then you have to seek out the knowledge in the places for the people that have gone through the experience, that have done the work, that have the resources. And you know, trying to get someone, I would never like go to a woman and say like, hey, can you teach me how to not be a misogynist? Like I wouldn't want like a woman to labor for me. So you just like, you want to keep those things in mind.
I got you. Well, thanks for having me up.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, who do you keep inviting up here? What's going on with this guy?
There's two of them. I would really like them to come up, but I think they're just cowards in the comments.
Those dweebs? I don't want those dweebs to come up here. They're not cool enough to come up here. Nobody care about those thumb thugs.
Yeah, well, okay. All right. I hope you have a wonderful night. And
I was just about to say we about to wrap this up anyway, because my wing stop. They just, did y'all hear that? I got wing stop at the door.
Well, don't make management have to wait on you. Go get your own wing stop.
All right. I appreciate you, Kay.
All right, have a good one.
Me too. Is there a reason I know it was you. I was wondering why. I didn't know what you were doing. I thought it was a reason. I wasn't gonna question it. All right. Is it lemon pepper? No, it's not. No, it's not Louisiana rub. No, it's not. Wait. Do you guys want to guess the flavor? It's not Louisiana rub. No. Nope, not garlic parm, not mild. Do I look like a mild? Lemon pepper wet? No. Yep, hot honey barbecue. Absolutely. We got some mango habanero, some hot honey rub, some spicy Korean barbecue. Those are the 3 flavors. Oh, wait, I added, I forgot that I added an extra couple of hickory smoked barbecue. And some voodoo fries, some Louisiana voodoo fries. Yeah, we about to have some wings. We about to have some wings. You move on. Come up here. No, you get up here. Where is she at? Somebody get her up here. Hold on for a second. Where is she at? You know, playing my face. Wait a minute. I got something for you. Where'd you go? Put something in the chat. Comment something in the chat. Where you at? Just comment something in the chat real quick. Don't worry, I'll scroll up until I see you. I'm not leaving until I find it. So, I mean, you might as well. Oh, there you go. Oh, I can't even invite you up. That's all good. I'm gonna mute you. I just muted you for the entire live. Look at that. Now look who can't speak anymore. All that thumb thugging. The only thing you can do now is come up. You're muted for the entire live. Get up here. I can't invite you up. Sleep with one eye open, bub, whatever. I'm not ending the live until you come up. Chat, we're not leaving until she comes up. We're not leaving until she comes up. So we're just going to sit here in awkward silence. I don't mind sitting in awkward silence. Okay. We're just going to be waiting here. So, hey, chat. How about those Cowboys? How about those Cowboys? No, the Cowboys is not my team. That's just something I say when I'm trying to waste time. I'm not going to let the live end until you come up. She has to come up, chat. I don't know what we're doing. Yeah, I heard Dak Prescott. I'm gonna kill you, literally. Come on, then. If you're not coming up, then I'm not leaving. Yeah, I heard Dak Prescott canceled his wedding through an email. Did you guys see that? In a whole fucking email. You got to come up here. You're holding the mods hostage. No, I don't care. No, nope, nope. I would never cheer for the Bills. I'm a Panthers fan. Yeah, Dak Prescott canceled his wedding via email. We got all flats because my wife, like, I don't think it's a difference, but she likes it. See, look, they're saying, please, they're hungry, but they can't leave because you won't come up. Flats are better. I don't think so. The drums got more meat. Ain't no pause. No pause. She can't get me. I'm literally waiting for her to come up here. It's on her. The only reason the live hasn't ended yet is because she won't come up here. And I muted her in the live. I muted her for the entire live, so she can't even talk in the comments now. That's why she keeps sending me Discord messages. You and Dean are snowflake soft. Nobody care about you. Whatever, coward. They said, Mrs. Jones, please. Guys, put a 5 in the chat if you guys would like for management to come up here so we can wrap up this live. You're not in the request. Don't lie. Oh, she is. Wait, why'd you drop out of the request? Oh, boo. Tomatoes, get back up here. Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready for you to end your life.
Yeah. You want to go on a Wingstop date with me?
Sure.
I got habanero.
You're killing me here.
Okay, I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. You don't know how to leave, do you? Oh, she does. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get Court. I'm tired, Grandpa. All right. Oh, she's gonna be so mad. She's gonna be so mad, guys. If I'm not live in the morning, you know why. If I'm not live in the morning, you know why. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, this ain't your regular panel. Nah, we speak the truth. Late nights with Santana and Mama Jones watching. Better keep it clean. Let's go! Late nights, truth in the convo. Everybody get a seat at the table. From the block to the books, we mindful. No screaming, just dreams in the Bible. One mic, one voice, we build bridges from the heart of the hood to the world's big issues. Politics, pay, different cultures. But the real ones listen before they rebuttal. Late nights with Santana. Yeah. Mama Jones watching, so keep it grown. Ain't about flexing, this is Interpersonal. Santana hold it steady when it might get hot. But we ain't here to fight, we here to connect the dots. Yeah, late nights with Santana.
Guys, it was an interesting night. Chat. It was an interesting night. It was interesting. But there's no other place I would rather spend it but with you and all of you. It was awesome. It was awesome. Thank you all for hanging out tonight. I'm really hoping that we can take a couple lessons away from this, and I really feel like a lot of people hearts are in the right places, but if we can get their hearts and minds in the right places, then we can all go to the right place together. So we got your hearts, let's work on the minds. How about that? We'll work on the minds together. Deal? We got the hearts, let's work on the minds. Deal? All right. Guys, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the gifts, the taps, the likes, the shares. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for being absolutely amazing. I love you all. I do. And as always, peace.